with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt with GadellNet to introduce himself and to talk a little bit about AI.
Hello, everyone. Feel free to throw something at me and tell me to speak up if you can't hear me. I'd also like to apologize for that post-2020 lockdown haircut that's on the board right now, so forgive me. I need to update that headshot. But my name is Matt Reuter. I lead our strategic consulting department at GadellNet. And basically what that means is I work with various companies in various industry verticals, helping them plan, implement, deploy technology, as well as staying within the bounds of various compliance from HIPAA all the way to CMMC. So today we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence and how the construction industry can harness the future. This is a very wide topic. The AI industry and technology in general advances and rapidly changes. So I am sticking very high level. If you want to stay around and talk a little bit more granularly afterwards, please feel free to do so. So just a brief introduction. You guys are all in a $10 trillion industry. It's growing every year, 4.2% growth over the course of the remainder of this year. Most of your efforts are in some way, shape, or form driven by technology. We are starting to see artificial intelligence creep its way into all industry verticals, but specifically with technology in the construction industry. So I get a lot of questions about what exactly artificial intelligence is. And from a very high level, it's machines mimicking human thought patterns, the ability to problem solve, and scariest of all, the ability to learn on its own without any sort of programming. Machine learning is one various aspect of artificial intelligence. It uses algorithms to predict and look for patterns and help you and your businesses make informed business decisions when it comes to project management, safety, sustainability, pretty much every aspect of what you guys do day in, day out. So where are we currently seeing AI in the workplace, specifically in the construction industry? Big one is resource management. Looking for waste. We have technologies out there that are looking for labor shortages, proactively looking for labor when there are shortages, and really helping you guys to stay efficient with your resource allocation. We're seeing it in safety. Safety is probably my favorite part of AI in the construction industry. I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you, have seen those cool cameras out there that monitor and detect for people not wearing their hard hats or their other protective gear. And there are a lot of advancements coming out of safety that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. Sustainability, again, just the ability for AI to look at energy usage, emissions, and other aspects of what you do on job sites, and really helping you plan your sustainability efforts. Project management. I'm sure everyone has some exposure to some sort of project management software. This is usually the one that I hear most and one that I work with most of my construction companies, just helping them find and plan and use the most up-to-date softwares. But really the AI piece of that comes with maintaining budgets, maintaining project schedules, and helping with cost overruns. So be prepared for future advancements in project management. And then really business intelligence, taking multiple data sources, helping bring all of those together to, again, help organizations make informed business decisions through things like Microsoft BI and other business intelligence platforms. All right. So what does this technology mean for us today? Ultimately, it's helping us prevent cost overruns, meet project deadlines on time and on budget, if not under budget, or that's the dream at least. And then most importantly, the technology that's out there today is helping with risk mitigation, whether that's safety, whether that's cost overruns, whether it's labor shortages, skill set shortages. There are technologies out there that can help you automatically and artificially intelligence wise help you plan for and overcome a lot of these business obstacles. So that's a very high level about the AI technology that's out there today. Let's talk about what the next 6 months to 3 years looks like. So lots of predicted increases in automation. You're going to see a lot more robots and various machines out there that are turning wrenches and doing a lot of the day-to-day grunt work. That's going to help you to reduce some of the quality issues that you have. It's going to help you be safer and your employees be safer. And again, it's going to help you with cost overruns because a machine can do it the same way every time without any issues. The other thing is predictive maintenance. We're starting to see a lot of this out there where vehicles and hardware that you use has sensors on it. Those sensors are communicating back to a central hub and basically saying, hey, I'm having this issue with this piece of equipment. This is what you need to do to fix it. Or it may just be as simple as, hey, this is overheating. You need to shut it off for about 30 minutes. But this is a good way for organizations to maintain their equipment for the length of a project, if not further. Safety upgrades. So you're going to see a lot more wearable technology coming out for your job site employees. These sensors will help to monitor fatigue, heart rates, dehydration, helping you keep your workforce safe and under control. This is, again, one of the things I'm most excited about because this is the future at arm's reach. These sensors are cool. I got to play with them in a tech conference last year. So just be aware they're coming out and they're going to be coming out here in the next year or so. And they are very useful to the job site employees. More advanced project management tools. So again, progress tracking, resource management, schedule optimization, really the things that humans typically struggle with, and something that AI can do very seamlessly and very quickly and remove that human error component. And then sustainability innovations. One of the big things is just helping you plan water usage and energy at job sites and in buildings. Again, we're talking about more smart sensors in buildings and on job sites, just helping to monitor and maintain the different sustainability efforts. Very high level of where we're going. This changes day to day. I suspect in 2 months, this message will change in some way, shape, or form. But these are the things I suspect that you'll be seeing here in the coming months. But with every bit of technology, there comes risk. The biggest risk that I see specifically with the AI that's out there today, like ChatGPT, is people putting proprietary information into those types of platforms. Once that information is in those databases, you have no control over it. That means that a simple query could bring up your proprietary information to either a malicious actor or a competitor, or really anybody who can basically submit a query on ChatGPT. So you need to be cognizant of these open source platforms because it has the potential for a lot of data piracy. So just be cognizant of what you're putting into ChatGPT and other language modeling platforms. The other thing that we're going to likely see is an over-reliance on this technology, and that's going to erode the skill set of your workforce. So it's good to make use of these types of technologies, but we want to avoid being overly reliant. They are not a replacement for people, and they need to be treated as a way to enhance your workforce and not replace. So keep that in mind as these technologies come out. The next two things are very important because AI and the responses and activities you get are dependent on the data that is loaded into those systems. It opens the platforms up to bias, whether it's gender or racial bias. Bad data can cause those types of activities to happen and can drive your business in a direction that you don't want it to go. So just be aware that bias is a real thing when it comes to AI and AI platforms. AI hallucinations. It's about as fun as it sounds. That is basically, again, just bad data and an AI platform making up responses because it needs to give you a response and it pulls from multiple data sources. If the data is bad, it's likely going to make something up. You can actually test this with ChatGPT and ask it random questions. There was a news article not too long ago about a lawyer who was using ChatGPT, used it in a court case, used it in the hearing, provided some very false information, and she was disbarred as a result. So be very cognizant of the responses that you get back now, and be cognizant of the technology that you're implementing in the future. Be aware that it is not 100% foolproof, it is not 100% accurate, and it could put your business at risk in some sense or capacity. Another good one, proprietary data sharing. We talked about that a little bit with ChatGPT, but again, the more open source platforms are more risky. If you're purchasing software and AI applications, make sure you're reading fine print. Make sure you understand where your data is, who has access to it, and whether it's yours at the end of the day, if you decide to go on from that platform. All good questions to ask. Where's my data? Who's using it? What happens when I leave? Is it my data or is it yours? So keep that in mind as these platforms start coming out. Those are good questions to ask. Growing legal questions. Because AI is not 100% foolproof and at this point nowhere near 100% accurate, the question is, who's liable if something goes bump? When something goes bump? Is it you or is it the AI platform? You're making a lot of your business decisions on these platforms, so it is likely to fall on you. So you need to be aware of legal ramifications when it comes to making decisions based on artificial intelligence. That is one of the biggest risks that I hear about and one of the things that I'm most concerned about. And then again, employee use of AI, evading or escaping the bounds of your organization. So you'll see more sensors, more smart technology that employees own and are bringing to job sites or in your building, connecting to your Wi-Fi. You need to be cognizant of those things as well because AI's smart. It's going to do what it's programmed to do. And oftentimes, if you don't have the right security protocols in place, you run the risk of losing data or data being siphoned off unintentionally from employees' personal devices. So be cognizant of that as well. Scary risks. But the goal of this conversation is not really to scare you. It's to make you cognizant. You should be aware of the risks before you dive headfirst in. Some of you probably have already dipped your toes in. I see some head nods when I was talking about ChatGPT, so that's a good thing. But really, the big things to mitigate these risks are just educate yourself, educate your employees, have productive conversations with staff on how you can use technology, how you can use artificial intelligence and machine learning, and develop a strategy for deploying those. Obviously, security should be a part of that conversation, but really is this useful in our workplace? Create guardrails. Policy and procedure with these types of things are your friend. They're never going to be 100% foolproof. Employees are going to do what they're going to do, but having a policy and procedure gives you some recourse when somebody steps outside the realm of what you've made the guardrails. So keep that in mind. There are also technical stopgaps you can put into place. From an IT perspective, whether it's preventing downloads of certain platforms that use artificial intelligence, blocking things on the network. There are lots of strategies from an IT perspective that you can use, but again, not everything is foolproof. So with a combination of policy and procedure and IT safeguards, you will have a pretty good chance of keeping AI exactly where you want. Again, I can't overstate educating employees. If you don't educate, employees are going to do whatever they want. And if you don't have guardrails, again, they're going to do whatever they want. So take the time, train the employees, whether it's somebody internal to your organization or someone like GadellNet coming outside on site and just doing a training. Train the employees, make them aware of the risks, make them aware that they shouldn't be uploading your 2024 budget into ChatGPT coming up. And I've seen that happen in the last 6 months, just so you're aware. It does happen, it is happening, and it's not just happening with your entry level employees. It's happening with C-suite and executive teams. So be very cognizant of that. Knowledge is power at all levels of your organizations. And then monitor and review. That's really the last thing. Empower your IT to have the tool sets to monitor, review, and ensure that the landscape of your network is safe and secure. That is a big thing. So just keep that in mind as you roll technology out, whether it's AI or anything. All right. I breezed through that. You guys are quiet. I'm going to open the floor to some questions. What do you guys got for me? Shoot.
I'm an interior designer,
Okay.
and I know this is construction related, but it's part of the AEC industry. Have you seen the technology being used in an architecture, engineering, interior design capacity yet? And what do you see coming in the next, like you said, 6 months to 3 years?
Yeah. So I work with a couple interior design firms. So this is not a new question for me. Yeah. So basically, there are applications out there right now at this very moment. They're not stellar, but they do the job. Where you can say, hey, I need a 14 by 14 room. I need you to use this furniture. I need you to use this type of art. And it will draft a 3D drawing for you, just like you would in AutoCAD. So it is out there. It is growing. And I suspect in the next 6 months to year and a half, there will be better accuracy. You'll have more features. You'll be able to query additional furniture, and it's very limited right now. So it'll grow. The database will grow essentially and help you be more accurate. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I've looked into it a little bit so far and found that there are some resources, but it's more residential or more small format, not very smart, if you will,
Yeah.
yet, for what I'm thinking I'd like to do with it. But I think in the next year to 18 months or longer, it'll start to develop
Yep.
based on, people trying to use it and needing it to grow.
Mhm.
So I just was wondering if there was anything I was missing, but right now it seems like it's a little bit
It's
more elementary.
very much in its infancy. It's very much in the crawl stage of development. One of my interior design firms, they work in the healthcare space. So McKesson is actively working on putting their products and their inventory in databases. And usually if a large company like them are doing that, a lot more are going to follow suit very quickly. So it's coming. I would say next 6 months to a year.
I've seen different building, architecture, renderings, and add a wing here, 4 floors, all glass, blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
double height entry, and you can narrate into it, and it gives you 5 options, and
Exactly.
very, very early schematic.
Plain language querying like that is going to be it's right around the corner. And that's another great thing. So as you guys are using business intelligence and using databases to make informed business decisions, you're not going to have a special degree or certification to query a database. You're going to be able to say things like, show me my cash flow over the last 6 months, and you're going to get information back. So you don't have to do any professional coding to get the reports and the information you need. So that plain language querying is in process. I've seen it work. It still needs some work, but it's functional. I saw another question over here.
Just out of curiosity, at this point in time, are there any areas that, if not impossible, are extremely difficult for AI to gain access to, entry to, and
Yeah. So
I mean, I see a lot of business developers here, so we like to think it's still very much a people business. And not that we can't be replaced, but a lot of what we do is about interaction. It's not about algorithms and
sure.
whatever. So is there anything that AI would kind of challenge entering into?
Yeah, so again, it depends on the platform and it depends on how you're trying to use it. At this point in AI development, it's only going to be as good as the data that's put into it. So if it's rudimentary data, if it's inaccurate data, you're going to have a hard time getting accurate responses or accurate information. That being said, I don't foresee in the near future AI making cold calls and having full conversations on your behalf. But there is going to be a future where that's at play. It's not readily around the corner, at least not from what I'm seeing.
Where I've seen it is in CRM. Yeah.
Yep.
That's like, that would make sense.
Chatbots.
Not gonna replace you, Chris. It will not replace you.
Tell my owners that.
Where we're seeing a lot with this being used in various industries is chatbots. So, going to your website, asking for help, and it's actually acting like a person. You probably already talked to a chatbot like that and thought it was a person if you live chat as opposed to picking up the phone and calling somebody. So that functionality is here. That's already in play, and that's actually fairly accurate. So really cool use of AI and eliminates a lot of human error that comes with training new employees to answer questions from websites. Shoot.
Do you see it integrating into Revit or other BIM software so that we could say, here's we're working on a large hospital right
Yep.
now. So if we'd say, this is the template,
Mhm.
duplicate it and check for errors. Can it eventually do that?
I foresee that happening. I haven't seen a specific example of that, but yeah, I mean, one of the things that's being worked on right now is camera systems that can detect quality on job sites. So if there was a bad concrete pour, a window's not installed correctly, running the camera over that is going to call out quality issues in the product that you're building. So things like that are in play. For your specific example, I haven't heard of anything, but again, the sky is the limit. This is changing on almost a daily basis. It wouldn't surprise me if that's out, and something of that effect is out in the next 3 years.
So many folks in my industry have been using ChatGPT for mainly for effective communication. So they'll either take a long-winded email and have it summarize it, or they'll double check their response just to see if it makes sense, or maybe just have them rewrite it entirely. But other than that, like, what are other uses for ChatGPT that you would see in day-to-day use? And then are there other similar or different types of programs that we should be looking at considering for like civil engineering type, or just day-to-day business?
Yeah, so day-to-day business, ChatGPT is going to be your friend. You kind of hit the nail on the head on the primary usage or approved usage or recommended usage for ChatGPT, and that's, hey, I need to send this communication via email. Help me sound more professional. Help me sound less angry. Those are good uses. I have also seen and personally used ChatGPT to create PowerPoints and do things like that. The challenge and the thing that you have to be cognizant of are those AI hallucinations, because it's only as good as the data is that's in there. It's trolling the internet and it's finding lots of inaccurate sources. So whatever ChatGPT spits back out, you're going to want to double check and make sure that it is accurate and it's not just made up, because that is a common problem. If you tell it to make you a lemon meringue pie, it's going to give you the wrong ingredient. I guarantee it. So keep that in mind. So just check for authenticity and accuracy.
And
But
you
those
said
are the big
anything
ones.
you use it for is public then. Anything you use it for.
So
It's out there.
ultimately, yes, it can be queried from other people. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as specific of, hey, I need to know what this person said from this company within this time frame. But everything that you enter goes into a database, and AI will rely on that information in that database to give other responses. So this is the biggest reason why I encourage you to not put any proprietary information, any sensitive data into any of these specifically free AI platforms.
This is kind of a multi-step question, but how many open AI software platforms are there? And then is there a way to get your own proprietary safe one yet? Or are they all just gonna interact eventually and kind of be like Terminator?
So I would say there's probably 4 to 5 large language modeling platforms similar to ChatGPT. If I suspect most everyone in this room is a Microsoft user, Microsoft is in the process, and I think they may have actually released a first iteration of their AI platform. Google and Bing are working on theirs. I believe Bing has already deployed one. So there is a number to choose from. As far as proprietary, I haven't seen anything out there at this point. I haven't really looked, if I'm being candid with you. Again, I suspect that it's going to be productized in the very near future. One of the challenges is we've had people build these platforms and we don't really know how they work. We know how they work, but we don't know how they learn. There have been instances where they've had AI, have a language modeling platform talk to a different language modeling platform, and within a couple-week period, they're speaking their own language, and we have no idea what they're saying. ChatGPT, OpenAI, they recently raised some concerns because one of their new platforms was able to solve math problems it had not been shown before, and we don't know how it did that. And it raises ethical, moral, and safety concerns for people. So is that going to come out? Yes. The speed at which it's going to come out, I'm not 100% sure. So kind of scary, kind of cool, a lot of scary, a lot of cool. Shoot.
So far, everything's been centered around logic.
Mhm.
And a lot of, again, in the people industry, there are emotions, there are morals, there are ethics. How does AI take any of those in, or does it?
It doesn't. In one of the first iterations of ChatGPT 4, you could ask questions like, hey, pretend you're Bob. Bob is the king of the world. Bob has this issue with poverty and food shortages. What should Bob do? And it wrote out basically, well, just get rid of the people. That's been patched. You can no longer get that response. But again, morality, those things are not accounted for. Those human qualities are not accounted for in AI, at least not at this point. And you can actually ask ChatGPT, hey, explain love to me. It may have been patched, but at one point, a couple months ago, you could ask what love is, and it would give you a very chemical, it's a chemical response in your brain that makes you feel a particular way towards somebody. So very mechanical. One, you here and then back there.
Is there a governing body that's like over? I know there's that probably must have legislation, right? But is there like any kinds of governing bodies that's like kind of over this? It's a free for all for everybody.
Right now, it is a free for all. There are talks about, so let me pause. There's no federal or legal entity that oversees, as far as I know, any sort of compliance around the use or what can be done with artificial intelligence. There are companies like Microsoft who has put ethical AI as a task force and have pulled, very smart engineers and very smart people into these task force to make sure that they're developing the products in a way that they are ethical, that they are honest, and that they are used for their intended purpose. But as far as compliance and governing bodies, no. Which brings me to a good point real fast. If you're CMMC, if you're going for CMMC or you are CMMC compliant, You need to nip the AI stuff in the bud right now. ChatGPT will be a no-go. So be aware of that. All right. I think we have one more question. I didn't see it. If not, shoot.
Writing emails and all that stuff, making things more concise. That's cool. What's the one thing you said construction that's positive about it? Like, besides that, I use it all the time. But is there anything cool you've seen your clients do that you're like, oh, that's been slick? That would.
ChatGPT helped you build this PowerPoint.
Right now, that's not. I mean, it's.
That's not cool.
That's something we all do that already. Right? I didn't know that.
So whether or not it was accurate, I don't know. I saw a foreman for one of my clients query a cement pouring formula. Again, I don't know if it was accurate. It spit data back out, but he seemed to be impressed. So things like that. If it wasn't accurate, it's going to be more and more accurate. Just make sure you're doing second checks when you do stuff like that. Cool. Then I'll be around for a while. So if you guys want to hang out, chit chat, ask more questions, hopefully I have answers. And if not, I can find them for you and get them to you. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. And thank you.
Really.